Guys, I regret buying these 1 ounce gold Pamp Suisse bars, and I'll explain why in a minute. And after that, I'm going to give you the most simple, cost efficient way to invest in physical gold by starting with the absolute worst gold products you should avoid and why. This video is not for people who mix investing in gold and silver with the hobby of coin collecting or buying bars and coins for their unique designs. This is strictly investing in gold with the most efficient, cost-effective way with an eye towards resale value, period. So if you are just starting out or already investing in gold, you can tune out all the hype and learn how to get the most gold for your dollars. So let's start with these Pamp Suisse. Why do I regret buying them? Are they fake or something? No. It's just that most people buy gold to put it away for a long time as kind of an insurance policy. And that's what I did years ago. And now I see that the glue that was holding the plastic casing has dried out and the casing has completely come apart. All right. I don't know if you can see that. And this happened to me while I was in Chinatown, and I almost lost one of these gold bars because it fell out of the casing and fell onto the street. So the 1 ounce of gold is still gold, but whatever slight premium you thought you might get for keeping it in the case with the serial number is gone. So if I go to sell this, the dealer will offer me an amount as if the case didn't exist. The difference in price you can get with or without the case may be 1 or maybe 2% tops when there is decent buying demand for gold. However, when the demand flips like we have now, and most people are selling their gold and silver, the premiums dry up to the point where most dealers buy gold from customers with the intent to just sell it to refiners to melt it. So all your fancy plastic cases, anti-counterfeit watermarks, PCS graded encased plastic gold things mean nothing when the gold is being bought to just melt it. They're just going to take it out of the case and send it and melt it. It's a little like in the stock market where you have different categories of stocks that have different correlations and they move more or less than the general market moves. So something like defensive, consumer staples, or utilities may move less when the market moves up and may move less down when the market moves down. That is in normal markets. But when the stock market crashes, the correlations basically all go to 1, meaning everything moves together, everything drops together. They don't care about if it's a utility or cyclical or tech stock or whatever, they all dump together. And that's kind of the same thing for gold and silver. When everybody is selling, the value is just in the amount of gold or silver. Nothing else matters. That's because the dealers don't really have hopes of selling it to one of their retail customers. So they just know they're going to dump it off to the refiner who's going to melt it. So they pay you a little bit less than what the refiner will pay them and just send it off and melt it. They really don't care about what packaging it comes in or anything like that, because none of that is going to matter to the refiner who's just going to melt it. So you can see this right now on the YouTube channel Vermilion Enterprises. He's a coin dealer in Florida that posts his buy and sell prices weekly and shows you what the premiums are right now. And it is pretty scary if you are looking to sell any of this stuff right now. So this video is from December 16th. Of course, his prices could change since then, but generally this is what it is. He is buying American Gold Eagles and American Buffaloes, which is the top of the heap, at least in the US, for 1 ounce gold coins. He's buying them at spot, selling them at spot plus 4%. Normally, in normal times, these sell for like spot plus 7%, and dealers sometimes buy them above spot. Now, for the fractional American Gold Eagles, the 1/10 sell for 11% over spot, the quarter ounce 9% over spot, the half ounce 7% over spot. And so you lose a lot more when you buy these fractional because you pay more for them. Even if you get a little bit over spot, you are losing like 7% here, 7% here, 7% here. So not a good deal to buy these fractional coins, in my opinion. So here's the important part. If your coin is not an American Gold Eagle or American Buffalo 1 ounce, then it falls into the other category of foreign coins and bars. And that means they will only pay 98% of the spot price, and they will sell it to you for spot price. So if you're looking to buy, this is a great deal right now, buying it at spot. If you're looking to sell, they're going to give you 98%, which is not terrible, but that means no matter what coin or bar you have, a Krugerrand, Maple Leaf, a Philharmonic, Engelhard 1 ounce bar with the assay case, Pamp Suisse, anything, it doesn't matter. That's considered other. So it doesn't matter if it has scratches, if it's in a graded PCGS case or something like that. They're just going to take it out, send it to the refiner and melt it, and they're going to give you 98% because maybe the refiner gives them like 99% or something like that. So there's not a lot of money in it. They're not going to keep it around and try to sell it to the retail because they just have so many sellers and not enough buyers right now. So why pay for a premium when you most likely will get the spot price or less when you decide to sell? You need to buy gold or silver like you are a prepper. You're not going to buy a small 8 ounce container of rice with a fancy box for $3. You're going to buy a 20-pound bag for like $1 a pound, right? Just like you're not going to buy a little 12-ounce bottle of Avion water for $3 and stack those away. No, you're going to buy some big 5-gallon jug of Poland Spring or something for $5. Because when the crap hits the fan, it will matter how much rice and how much water you have, not the fancy packaging of it. So how do you do this with gold? Simple. You buy 1 ounce gold only and always look for sales, which is pretty often if you check different websites. And by websites, that means real legit dealers that post their actual prices on their website. Kitco, APMEX, JM Bullion, SD Bullion, these guys, not the guys that you see advertising on Fox News and stuff that you need to call them and have some salesperson call you back and talk you into buying these really overpriced coins. Do not do that. So keep it to 1 ounce, and then you don't have to calculate how much per ounce you are actually spending to buy this stuff. Now, there's some people that say, well, I don't have enough to buy 1 ounce at a time of gold. Well, then you have other problems that you need to work on in terms of having a savings account, having a kind of reserve savings account if you lose your job or something, having tools and equipment and food in your house, maybe having some silver first. But even if you don't have enough to buy 1 ounce of gold right now, that's not a problem. There's a way around that. Don't fall for just buying a small amount of gold first, because that is a bad way to do it. So let's look at the worst gold you can buy first. The worst gold you can buy, in my opinion, and this basically isn't even gold. This is like pretend gold. It's like buying coins in a video game or something like that with real money. These are these pieces of plastic that have a few drops of gold in them, and they try to pass it off like it's a new kind of gold-backed currency that's going to take off and be the new coin of the realm of the US or something like that. This is complete overpriced BS in my humble opinion. So there are a lot of YouTubers that are probably getting paid by some of these guys to push this stuff and say how great it is. It is not. And why is it not great? Because this is 1/10 of a gram, not 1/10 of an ounce. So there are 311 of these you need to get 1 ounce of gold times the price, $14.99. That's about $4,600 to get an ounce of gold by buying this, when gold is $26.38. This one's even worse. Tanzania, 1,000th ounce of gold. So multiply 1,000 by 15 and you're paying $15,000 an ounce for this plastic gold. You need 1,000 of these to get 1 ounce of gold. So you could buy 6 ounces of gold for the same price you're buying this for. Complete nonsense. So now the next category is these fractional gold. Some people say, hey, look, I can't afford to buy a full ounce of gold in 1 month, so every month I buy 1/100th of an ounce of gold or something like that. Now, this is 38.37 times 100. You're paying $3,800 an ounce. That's about a 40% premium over the current price. Why should you do this? You shouldn't. If you can't afford to buy a full ounce in a month, save up. Put that money in the bank. And even if it takes you a year to have enough money to buy 1 ounce of gold, I promise you, gold is not going to jump up 40% in a year while you're saving to buy 1 ounce of gold. So it's much better to save up every month. And even if gold goes up to $2,800, $2,900 in a year, you're still better off by saving your money, buying a full ounce of gold and not buying this fractional stuff for $3,800 an ounce. So even though 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagle is $369, so that's like $3,700 an ounce. And if you buy less than 50, it's $377. So really that's like almost $3,800 an ounce. So 1 ounce gold is like buying meat. In America, at least, the 1 ounce gold American Eagle is like the filet mignon, and it's priced the most. And so you see here, it's $27.18, which is about $80 over spot, which is only like 3%, and it's on sale. It's a very good deal compared to what it usually is, like 7% over spot. So if you're at the supermarket and filet mignon is on sale, you might want to buy some of this when you look at what's the price of the next best thing, maybe ribeye or New York strip steak or something like that. So the next step down is the US Gold Buffalo, and that's more expensive than the Eagle. I wouldn't buy this. If I was going to buy one of the two, I'd buy the Eagle and save $20 as well. But the Eagle is the more premium product than the Buffalo, slightly, but still, right? Then you have mints that are from other countries that are not as popular in this country, and this one is as low as $27.17. Obviously, you have to buy more than 10 to get that, but let's just say it's this price. It's the same price as the American Eagle on sale, so why would I buy this when if I sell it, I'm going to get 98% a spot, when if I buy the American Eagle, I'll get spot right now, let's just say. So this is like buying skirt steak or something like that for the same price as filet mignon. Now here you have the 1 ounce Britannia for $26.92. It's not as good as the American Eagle, at least in the US, but it's $25 cheaper. So that's something you might want to consider. But again, if you buy this and you go to sell it, you're going to get, right now 98% of spot versus spot for the American Eagle. So it's something to think about. This is also like skirt steak in the US. In the UK, maybe this is like the filet mignon and the American Eagle is like the skirt steak. But in my opinion, the best bang for the buck that I have seen is the Canadian maple leaf and sometimes the Krugerrand, but usually the maple leaf. And look, 1 ounce gold abrasions, $26.76. Okay, it has some scratches and scuffs or whatever, but guess what? If you're selling this right now and they're just taking it and throwing it at the refinery, they don't care if there's scratches or scuffs. It's the same 98% you're going to get for it of spot, whether it's this or this. This one for 27 or some other one for 27.26, you're going to get the same amount for it. So why not buy it as cheap as possible? All right. So this is $40 cheaper than the American Eagle. I'll buy this. Another widely recognized coin worldwide. This is the first bullion coin really, is the Krugerrand, 1 ounce Krugerrand with scratches and abrasions, $26.86. A little more expensive than the Canadian maple leaf. I'll take the maple leafs if these are the choices when I'm ready to buy something. So looking at the most popular products that are made by the country's mint. Now let's just see what is really the cheapest 1 ounce of gold you can get right now. And like I said, there's always sales, but let's look at the sales that they got going on. So I selected 1 ounce, sort by cheapest, and the 1 ounce gold bar in the secondary market. This means stuff that they buy from their customers. It could have the plastic, it could not have the plastic. The plastic could be old and falling apart, whatever. They just take it off the shelf and send it to you. You can't say, I want an Amex or a Pamp Suisse or whatever. They just send you whatever. That's $26.76, right? The Canadian maple leafs are the same price. This commemorative US Mint Mark Twain is the same price as well as this other one. And then you have these 1 ounce gold bar brand name with a say card. So these are brand new from the mint that makes it, Pamp Suisse, Valcambi, whatever, and these are only like $5 more than these other choices. And one other thing, the next line, the same price as these 1 ounce bars with the assay, you get 1 ounce gold coin random mint. So that could be a Canadian Maple Leaf, a Krugerrand, a Philharmonic, something else, right? So if you want a Canadian Maple Leaf, but you don't want the abrasions, for $5 more, you get maybe a Canadian Maple Leaf or some other decent mint. So the recognized bullion coins that are made by a country's mint is always way more desirable than a bar, and the bars are easier to counterfeit and this and that. So if you have the choice between the same price between a country's minted coin and a bar, I would always take the coin. So in my opinion, if I was buying, I would be buying these. If I didn't want the scratches, I would pay $5 more and get one of these random mints, right? But all of these are within, say, like 2% over spot, right? 26.36, they're like $40 over, less than 2% over spot, 1.5% over spot. So if you were to buy these and you had to dump these tomorrow and you're only getting 98% of spot, okay, you lose like 3.5%. That's like $80 or something like that. That's not bad. So on the very low end, you could pay as little as 1.5% over spot to get 1 full ounce of gold. But here, if you sort by most expensive to cheapest, you could pay $5,200 for this 1967 1 ounce proof gold Krugerrand. Who cares? If you were to sell it to a dealer, they'd probably give you 98% and send it to the refiner if they didn't know that it was a special coin or something like that, right? You could pay $36.95 for this 1 ounce gold red belly deadly and dangerous coin. What's really dangerous about this is if you bought this for $36.95 and you tried to sell it, you'd only get 98% of spot. And this 1 ounce gold Milky Way domed proof with box and COA coin for $34.95, you could travel the whole Milky Way and you won't find anybody to give you $34.95 for this coin. You'll probably only get 98% of spot for it. So guys, let the numismatic collectors and coin design collectors that like cool stuff and unique stuff and different stuff, let them spend their money on gold-shaped footballs for $3,300 an ounce and stuff like that. You're buying it just for the gold content, and the cheapest gold content you can get is 1 ounce bars, 1 ounce Canadian Maple Leafs, Krugerrands, Britannias, things like that. And if there's a sale, maybe you might splurge a little and get a gold buffalo or American 1 ounce gold eagle. So guys, there you have it in a nutshell. It's really simple. Don't pay $20, $30 more for a piece of plastic than you pay for this, because at the end, all they care about is this. And so treat buying gold like you buy cuts of steak. The filet mignon is the American gold eagles and the gold buffaloes, 1 ounce. Ribeye New York strip steak is like the Canadian maples and the Krugerrands, and then the bars, whether they have plastic casing or not, is like the ground beef. And so depending on the price of the ground beef and the mid steaks and the filet mignon, choose accordingly. If something is way too expensive compared to the ground beef, get the ground beef. So there's no need to sort through all these websites and look at graded coins and different designs and proof sets and uncirculated this and all this nonsense. Just go right to the 1 ounce, sort by what's the cheapest 1 ounce, and buy the cheapest 1 ounce that is widely recognized. And whatever you do, don't ever, ever, ever buy any of these plastic pieces of paper masquerading as gold, known as gold backs or whatever the name of them are, in my opinion. Thanks for watching, guys.